Hey there, Mikey's crew. It's your old pal Michael, and today we're doing a special video. I saw a couple days ago one of the guys I follow on YouTube. His name is John Riggs. He's out on the West Coast. Love watching his videos. He did a video about the Super Nintendo. It turned 25 years old, so kind of poaching on his video a little bit. But I just kind of want to say that this already has been done, but I want to talk about the Super Nintendo and what it means to me as well, because he did that, talked about 25 different games that he liked for the Super Nintendo. So I figured I'll talk about 25 games I liked for the Super Nintendo. So I will post a link to his original video he did about the Super Nintendo in the description below. Also post a link to his channel. He follows me on Twitter. So yeah, I just want to say that he had the original idea for this video, but I wanted to talk about this baby as well, Super Nintendo. Mine still looks pretty good, actually. I don't see a whole lot of yellowing on it anywhere, really. I bought this, actually, this was not a brand new system when I bought it. There maybe is a little yellowing on the front, but not too bad, I would say. Maybe on the front, like in here, and maybe on the top right there. But otherwise, I would say it's still pretty gray, in good condition. But yeah, I bought this used. This puppy right here, I did not buy brand new. So it's 25 years old. It celebrated its birthday on August 23rd. I'm 28 years old, so it came out when I was 3 years old, and I did not get into video games until I was 4. Yeah, 1 year later. That was when my cousins bought me, or not bought me, but gave me their original Nintendo and a bunch of games to go with it as well. I didn't get in the Super Nintendo until the year 1996, I believe, was when I got into it. I got it around the time I got my Nintendo 64. And you're like, well, what the heck? Why would you get it that late? I begged my parents to get me a Super Nintendo. They got me a Sega Genesis, which is fine. I love the Genesis as well. But I really wanted the Super Nintendo because I wanted to play Super Mario World. I was really into that game because my cousin Steve had Super Mario World. He had that along with like Pro Quarterback, Mad 95, NHL 94. He had like some other weird game that I can't remember the name of it. And he might have had a couple of other games as well, but I always remember playing Super Mario World and just, I don't think I was even playing it to beat it. I was just kind of playing it because it looked fantastic and I loved the game because I loved Mario games. And I just loved, playing all the different levels because it had so many in it. There was Super Mario Brothers 3, which had a lot of levels, but these ones were a whole lot more colorful and detailed. I was just thrilled to see it. I was into it. I remember when I beat it, I was so happy, and it wasn't beating it completely. It was just going to get to Bowser and beating it. But I was so happy to finally beat it, and that was before I actually got the Super Nintendo. So if it came out, 25 years ago, that means it came out in the year 1991, if I'm doing my math correctly. I think Japan might have got it actually in 1990, but we got it, or maybe late 1990. We got it in 1991. Yeah, I did that math right. So August 23rd is when we got it. And there's just been so many great games released for the system. This is probably my favorite system out of any that I own. I love all video games, but the Super Nintendo, just so it has a special place in my heart. Even though I did not get it when it originally came out, I wanted one, and then, like I said, when I got enough money, which I think I ended up getting, like, either birthday money or Christmas money, I got it, so I might have got it in 1997, actually, for my, like, birthday. Like, I got enough money, and I went down to Fanfare, which was a local gaming store out in Portage. Ended up seeing a Super Nintendo there. I think it was around $50. I bought that, and the first game I ever bought for it was Super Mario All-Stars. So yeah, I didn't get Super Mario World first. I got Super Mario All-Stars first because it had all the other Mario games on it, and I figured I can play that for the time being. And then, right thereafter, the Super Nintendo had, stopped making games for it. They stopped making games for Super Nintendo. And a lot of the games that I got from Fanfare were like $5. So I bought like Super Mario RPG, Donkey Kong Country, Those games were like $5 a piece. And I mean, nowadays, I mean, Super Mario RPG runs about $50 loose. Donkey Kong Country is about $15 to $20 loose. So I was happy to get those games back then. I still collect for the Super Nintendo. I look for any loose games I have. You know, I look for box copies to upgrade them. I look, you know, I have like a big list. The list for Super Nintendo isn't big anymore. It's getting down there where I've got most of the games I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a complete set or anything. But it's probably about 20 games to go. But the thing is with those games, they're the more expensive games. So I'm not going to be completing that list anytime soon. I play some homebrews on it as well. I love playing those. Another memory I have for the Super Nintendo as well was, and I know this is starting to drag on a little bit, I apologize, but I just kind of keep remembering things. I remember playing at McDonald's as well. That's where I'd also play Super Mario World, because they had like 4 TVs set up with Super Nintendos, and they had the Super Mario All-Stars with Super Mario World on it, so I'd play that, and they would have Donkey Kong Country there as well. So that's where I remember playing those games first, and then getting them later on. So here, without further ado, let's start talking about the 25 games for Super Nintendo that I dearly enjoy playing. These are definitely my favorites, and I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I know I have a lot of games, and it was hard to, you know, choose these. I tried to stick maybe to like one per franchise. I know the Mario games, it was kind of like, well, Mario Kart, Mario All-Stars, and Mario World were all different. So I know there will be a couple Mario games in here, but I try to stick one per franchise to kind of scope out all the favorite games I have for the Super Nintendo. Starting out with Super Tecmo Bowl. Now, I did not have this one as a kid, but I loved playing this. I got it like a couple of years ago, and the Tecmo Bowl series is just fantastic to play. This one I got when I was younger, definitely, when I first picked it up. It was Star Fox. This is Star Fox. Uses the Mode 7 graphics. I mean, back in the day, these like looked fantastic. And this cartridge actually used to be colored like blue, like in every other like area here. And I ended up washing most of it off. I didn't get all of it off, but I got most of it off, so it looks pretty good. This game, I got this for like $5, and it took me forever to beat this game. Like when I was younger, I could not beat this. I did not beat this until like last year, and I was so thrilled to finally get to Andros and take him out. This one I didn't have when I was younger as well, but the Punch-Out series I love. This is Super Punch-Out, not as good as Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the Nintendo, but still a fun game to play. Love Mega Man games. Mega Man 7, not as good as the other Mega Man games, but the graphics are definitely great. It has more of an in-depth story, which is good, and it has, you know, text on the screen, which the others did as well, but this one I think has more. Definitely good backgrounds, good graphics for it, and it is still a fun game to play. I don't have any of the Mega Man X games for the system. I do have the X collection, though, so I would mention Mega Man X is also fun to play. F-Zero, fun racing game. I mean, you're going so fast. The graphics are fantastic for driving around the track very, very fast. It is a tough game to play. I have not beaten it all the way, but definitely worth the pickup. Earthbound. This is not the original cart. You may notice this is actually the Japanese version translated to English. So I got this pretty cheap for like $40 instead of having to spend, you know, $200 for a loose cart of Earthbound. Played through it and ended up beating the game. You have to forgive, we're doing laundry, so if you hear that sound behind us, please forgive me for that. But I ended up beating the game. I got this, I think, a couple years ago. Played my way through it. Fantastic story. I recommend Earthbound to anybody. Probably, though, you want to try to find the Japanese version translated to English, just because it is a little cheaper to play. And I think the story is a little bit better there, too, because they talk, you know, when they brought it over to the U.S., they had to, like, exclude, like, talking about alcohol and other types of little sensitive issues in there that got censored. So this is, like, uncensored version. A lot better. Zelda, Link to the Past. Do I really need to say much more about this game? It is, for me, it's the best Zelda game of all time. Oh, I enjoyed it. The music on this game is fantastic. The graphics to this day look amazing. Just the color of the game is awesome, and you can go between the dark world and the light world. Awesome. Can't say much more about that. Beat that. It took me about 2 weeks to beat it. It was amazing. This game doesn't look great, but it is an awesome game. Kirby Superstar. You got, was it 8 games in one on here? I know a couple of them are mini games, but there's like 6 main games in here. They're short games. They're fun to play. You can get through it really quickly. Another game uses some fantastic graphics. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Now, it is not connected to this first Super Mario World game. I think they kind of just put that in the title to get people to buy it. Oh, well, it works because, you know, this game is fantastic. Especially the level where you try to, like, if you try to swallow, like, the palm-looking creatures and then it turns, like, all, like, wavy. Like, the screen goes all over the place. The music turns wacky. They did a fantastic job with the graphics in this game, and it's got a lot of levels that you can work through. Awesome game to play. Super Mario World game came packaged with the system. Of course, mine didn't because I bought it used. But if you bought it new, back in the day, this is when they packaged games with the system. Wish they really still did that. I mean, I guess they kind of do, but now it's like more like digital download stuff. I'd more like rather have a physical copy of the game. I remember when definitely picked it up for around $5-10. You know, it was definitely a game I picked up quickly, but it wasn't one of the first games I got for the system. UN Squadron is a fantastic shooter game for the Super Nintendo. I know the Super Nintendo doesn't have as great as shooters as what the other systems back then did, like the Genesis. I think that had greater shooters than what the Super Nintendo did. But UN Squadron is one of the better shooters for the system. Super Bomberman definitely made the transition well from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. Fantastic game to play. Lots of levels to go through. You know, obviously you place the bombs, you blow them up, get bad guys off the screen. It is challenging, but it is a very fun game to play. Super Metroid. Didn't get this game when it first came out. I got it a lot later. A couple years ago is when I ended up picking this one up. Didn't really get in the Metroid series until then. Beat the first one, played this one. Awesome game. One of the top games for the system. Lots of exploring to do in this game. So you definitely, you'll explore areas. You'll have to go back later and do it. It is definitely one of the best games to play. You know, yeah, not much more to say. I mean, I'm just trying to say, you know, good things about it. It's good on itself. I don't really need to say a ton of good things about it. NBA Jam is a fun sports game. You can get this for Sega or Super Nintendo, but definitely lots of fun to play. 2-on-2 action there. This one may not be like a great game, but it was one I enjoyed when I was a kid. Tiny Toons Busters Bust Loose. Cartoony graphics, definitely fun little platformer to play. It doesn't take long to play through. There's a football level in there I really enjoy playing. Tetris Attack, great puzzle game. Don't really need to say much more about that. It does include like Yoshi in it. It is really challenging once you get into the higher levels, but it is a lot of fun to play. The blocks remind me of playing Pokemon Puzzle League, and I really enjoyed that game too. Super Mario RPG Legend of 7 Stars. Actually, Kathleen and I are working through this game right now. Kathleen's playing it. I'm just kind of helping her through it because I've beaten it, I think, like twice at least. Definitely challenging, a lot of fun. I don't really play RPGs a lot. I don't play games like Final Fantasy. This is one of the few RPG games I played. It had Mario in the title. I was like, I'll pick it up. What the heck? And, you know, I really did enjoy it. I really enjoyed the turn-based battles. The music in the game is awesome. The graphics are awesome. The story is awesome. I don't need to say much more. In fact, I better put that back in the system because I'm taking that back upstairs with me. Goof Troop, another fun puzzle game to play. The few last games here are all complete in the box games. Goof Troop, fun puzzle game to play. Don't need to say much more about that. Disney made some pretty good games back in the day, I must say. And it's a Capcom game as well. One of the really good fighting games for the system, Killer Instinct. This copy, unfortunately, isn't complete. It does not include the music CD, but it does include everything else, instructions. Came from Blockbuster Video back in the day. No, I'm not going to try to take the label off. I think I did, but it was kind of ripping the box a little bit. So the label's going to be staying on there on the back. But yeah, that's a really good fighting game to play. A lot different than playing Mortal Kombat. Can't go wrong. Super Mario Kart. That started the whole Mario Kart franchise, and it's just gotten better since then. May not hold up to, you know, some of the other ones like Mario Kart 64 or Mario Kart Wii, which are my favorites, but Super Mario Kart is still a really good game. And Rainbow Road in there, that's probably the most challenging Rainbow Road I'd say I had to face, although the one in the Wii was pretty challenging as well. Pilot Wings, which also uses those Mode 7 graphics, awesome game. It's got, you know, you play it, it's got different vehicles that you can pilot. Haha, it's in the title. Get different vehicles you can pilot. Also, it's got like grade-based systems, so you get like A, B, or C, D, E, and it moves you. You move on based on how many points you accumulate, and you got like a fun helicopter mission at the end where you got to rescue hostages, and then you get to play it all over again. How about that on like a different difficulty setting? The Magical Quest, starring Mickey Mouse, is a really fun game as well. It reminds me of the Great Circus Mystery. It's got like the same type of costumes in there, same graphics. And I really enjoy playing Circus Mystery, so the Magical Quest is just as fun. It's a pretty short platforming game, but it is definitely fun. Can't go wrong with some Super Mario All-Stars, updated graphics for the Mario games. I know they've got like the one with Super Mario World out there on as well. I don't have that one. I just happen to have the original one. And, you know, playing Mario's 1, 2, and 3, and the Lost Levels, which was never released here. Fun. I just recently, like last year, I beat this year. It was this year. I finally beat the Lost Levels, and I beat the extra levels that come after it, too. So after you beat World 8, there's those extra levels. I beat those as well. Some of the enemies in there, you have, like, a fire sword in the water. You have Hammer Brothers in the water. It's like, oh, my gosh. Did they just, like, go nuts on these end levels? Yeah, they did. Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Love Star Trek games. I don't care if some of them are absolutely like terrible. I still love playing them. This one isn't terrible. I think this one's pretty good. You know, you can play 2-player battles where you and someone else can battle like the Enterprise and a Klingon ship, or you can reenact the Enterprise and Reliant battle, which actually they do have like a scenario in there on that. You go through, and depending on like how you do on like certain like Academy missions, depends, you know, how you do. It depends on how you did after you end up graduating. So it has like different endings to it. And then last, but certainly not least, Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest. I did only include one game from the Donkey Kong Country series. It would be that one. I do like Donkey Kong Country, and I do like the third one. I'd rank him, though, definitely the second one's the best, and then followed by Donkey Kong Country, and then the third one. Donkey Kong Country 2 is just so amazing. I mean, the ability to use Diddy Kong and then Dixie Kong with their twirling hair is definitely, that's fun. Finding the secrets in the game is definitely a lot easier than the first Donkey Kong Country, which is why I do enjoy that a little bit better. I think they worked out the mechanics a little bit better for the game as well. Definitely the hitbox in the first one I thought was a little off. The second one, they definitely got it like right on the nose. I thought that game is simply fantastic, and the final battle is an epic one. So there you go. Talking about 25 games I enjoyed for the Super Nintendo as it turned 25 this year on August 23rd. Don't forget, in the description below, I'm posting a video, or I'm posting a link to John Riggs' channel and the video that he did talking about Super Nintendo and turned 25, because I'm kind of just going off this. Because he did kind of the same thing. So I want to give him credit. He's the one who did the video first that I saw. And I just wanted to talk about my memories for the Super Nintendo. There'll probably also be, you know, back in the beginning of the video, there's probably an annotation and probably a card for it as well. So I definitely am, you know, giving him tons of love, because he's the one who started that, and I just wanted to kind of talk about, like I said, my memories of it. Enough of me rambling. This video is long enough already. So drop a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and also post comments in the comment section below for any memories you have of the Super Nintendo. What games did you enjoy? When did you first get it? Did you get it when it first came out, or was it like me where you got it, you know, used at a game store after it had been out for a few years, or even later, way down the road? Post those comments in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel for more content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description below. Till next time, this is Michael Loudon, over and out. Mikey's Crew, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for all the support you have given me. Take care.